I don't know if any of you guys watch Jim Sterling at all, but I do pretty regularly. And I was watching one of his videos the other day, and it was called The $60 Myth. And in that video, he talked about why he thinks that games are actually much more expensive than $60 now. And I agree with him. But it got me thinking while I was watching the video, and I started to feel that there was something familiar about the way current AAA games are released. And I realised it reminds me of Shareware games from the 90s, games like the original Doom and Descent and stuff like that. And obviously there were lots of games issued using that method. And for those of you who don't know, Shareware was a concept designed basically to help sell games. You'd get a free copy of a game, but it was a cut down version. Sound familiar? Often it would be quite a large chunk of the game. But if you wanted to play beyond the point where the shareware ended, you had to buy the game. Sharing the cut down version was allowed, and in fact it was encouraged as it helped to sell the game. And that's where the name shareware comes from, because you would share it with your friends. You could make copies of it and share it around. It was a great idea, both from the consumer and the developer's point of view, because, well, it was a great bit of marketing. And it basically put the game in the hands of gamers and they could do the marketing for you, while it also offered gamers a true taste of the full game. It also showed confidence in the game because once you got the free copy, you could stop playing it there. But of course, we often didn't stop there because we wanted to play on, especially with games like the original Doom and other games based on the engine such as Descent. And, as I say, there were loads of games that used that model. But what, you may ask, has this got to do with modern games? Well, as Jim Sterling says in his video, The $60 Myth, the games we're buying now for $60 aren't actually complete games at all. They're, like with the shareware versions, cut down versions of the games. Yes, they give us a pretty hefty chunk of the game for $60 or so. Well, unless it's Star Wars Battlefront, which came with virtually no content in the box, but we won't go into that here. But if you want the full experience, you have to pay more. You buy the higher tier editions of the game, or the deluxe or the super deluxe editions, or silver editions, gold editions, you name it. Or maybe you get the season pass, either on release or later down the line. And as with the shareware again, you can stop playing once you've finished the core components that ship for $60, but we're induced to spend more to keep playing. It works in very much the same way as the shareware model, as I'm sure you've already guessed, but with one glaring difference. We're now expected to pay $60. And of course, we're not allowed to share it round, but that's kind of irrelevant these days. We get the cut down version and we pay $60. The shareware version that used to be free has been reinvented and repackaged. And now we're having to pay for what is in effect a loss leader. The share element has been replaced. And as often is the case with modern games today, it's been replaced with a pay element. Whoopee! And those of us who are cynical enough not to waste any more money once we've wasted our initial $60 have still shelled out the $60. And some of us might even get sucked into buying the season pass or some other DLC at some point. Either way, we've paid the developers and the publishers some money. It's genius if you think about it, because it allows the gaming industry to put the true price of games up to around the $100 marks by the time you've bought the season pass and all the rest of it, while simultaneously claiming poverty and using it to justify microtransactions and their mutant offspring, loot boxes. And of course, with loot boxes, they've taken it a stage further because, well, we used to have cheat codes. When we got those old shareware games, we had cheat codes, and they've been repackaged too. We used to get books released on the front of magazines with cheat codes written down for us so we could progress if we got stuck or if we were like me. Or, if you just wanted to play on God mode and beat up some NPCs to relieve the stress after a hard day at school or college or work or whatever. but those books are no more. I'd actually started to think that cheat codes were a thing of the past, but of course, no. In another genius move, the likes of EA, Activision, Warner, Turn 10 and virtually everybody else in the AAA gaming industry has realised that they can be repackaged too. And now we have the privilege of paying for them as well. But not only do we pay for them, we have to gamble for them. You want 75% health boost? Give us some money. You want better armour? Give us some money. You want to earn extra credits on a level? Give us some f***ing money. But don't expect to get them first time because they'll be randomised, so you have to keep trying until you get a little spike of endorphins as the pack you wanted finally drops. And don't expect to be told what the odds are either. The basic concepts haven't changed at all since I first gawped at Doom on my mate's PC and laughed my ass off as he changed all the voice files to sound like another mate from Birmingham. The only real difference now is that you'll be expected to pay for every little bit of it, both at the point of entry and over and over and over and over and over again at every possible stage. And if you want to mod the game, speak to Bethesda, sir. They can sell you that mod. Yay! Have we been asleep all these years? Have we really been that dumb that we haven't noticed this coming? I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid or something. Maybe I'm missing the point because I keep getting people in my comments section telling me that I'm being unfair on these poor developers. Maybe they want a new Ferrari. Maybe they want a bigger house. Maybe they want an extra million in the bank. And me moaning about these things is stopping them. I'm a pain. I'm terrible. I'm affecting the gaming industry in a negative way. Well, as I said before, don't kill the messenger. The fact of the matter is that we've got all these practices now, and the stuff that we had in the past has just been reinvented to make us pay for it. So don't have a go at me because I don't like the fact that all the things we used to get with a game at the point of entry have now been taken away from us so they can give them back to us and make us pay. As I keep saying, and I'm sorry I keep going on about this is driving me up the wall at the moment, it's greed. Pure and simple. Greed. And we really shouldn't put up with it. And I know people will come in and they'll say, well, you haven't played Shadow of War, or you haven't played Star Wars Battlefront 2, or you haven't played Forza 7. It doesn't matter. I don't have to play them. We know what's in there. Loot boxes are gambling. And the way games are being sold to us now, we're not getting the full game at point of entry. We're expected to pay extra if we want the full game. You're going to be paying $100, around about £80 for a game now. And then if you want to continue playing or you want to progress through the game, you're going to have to buy loot boxes because those games are going to be made more and more and more grindy because they want you to pay. Can you see that? They want you to pay for things that used to be in the game. They even want you to pay for the f***ing demo because that's what a lot of games are now. They're little more than glorified demos. And certainly if you're playing an online game, you can't do without the season pass or the gold edition or the platinum edition or the f***ing diamond edition or whatever it might be that actually gives you all the content apart from the stuff that you might get in the loot boxes. How many times exactly are we expected to pay for one game? How many? Because it certainly isn't once. It isn't even twice. Sometimes it isn't even 3 times. It's over and over and over and over. Give us your money. Give us your money. Give us your money. You want to do something in game? Give us your money. That's where we are now. We've been asleep. And while we've been sleeping, every single aspect of the gaming industry has been monetized, and it needs to stop. And those of you out there who are being apologists for this, those of you who are making excuses for this, need to stop. And you need to stop blaming people like me for ruining the gaming industry. It's not me. It's the gaming industry itself, just like the music industry before it. We're heading for a tipping point. There will come a point when things will have to change. All gaming as I know it is going to be gone. And some of you might want that. Some of you might want it to be gambling because that's where we're heading. Some of you might want to pay money up front for a half a game or a quarter of a game, or just put money down in order to get the entry to be able to spend your money spinning the wheel. Maybe that's what you want. Well, good luck to you, but you can keep it as far as I'm concerned. I'm not interested. But anyway, as ever, I've been rambling on for far too long. I'm going to go and soak my head, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.